Hey, what's going on guys? Nick here with some potentially very interesting Doctor Strange 2 news. So following up on our video about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the same source Roger Wardell on Twitter, who has infamously leaked tons of Marvel stuff in the past, has dropped some pretty interesting bombshells for the Doctor Strange sequel. So obviously you're going to have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. We don't know if this will pan out or if they'll change things, but he was pretty dead on about Avengers Endgame basically a year in advance, and he's also dropped some other info for the future of the MCU. So basically for Doctor Strange 2, he says there are going to be new characters that include Clea, Jericho Drum, and that the Ancient One will be returning. For those of you who don't know, Jericho Drum is Brother Voodoo in the Marvel Comics, and at one point he eventually takes over the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme from Stephen Strange. It's also cool because his brother Daniel was killed in the first movie while trying to protect the New York City Sanctum from Caecilius. The character of Clea is pretty interesting because it's actually Dormammu's daughter and a love interest for Stephen Strange in the books. The other big surprise is that Tilda Swinton's Ancient One will be returning. Now we don't really know how this is going to happen, although he might provide a weird clue here. He describes it as Doctor Strange 2 1980s Boogaloo, so we don't know if he's just joking and having fun with wordplay, or if the Doctor Strange sequel is going to actually take place during the 1980s, which would be something very unusual. He also puts at the end, most importantly, the gloves will be back. Now obviously he's referring to the yellow gloves that we saw Stephen Strange use in Thor Ragnarok during his cameo appearance when he helps Thor and Loki find where Odin is at. So honestly, all this stuff sounds pretty cool. It also isn't too far-fetched because we have heard Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson comment publicly on a lot of this stuff in the past. He's talked about Brother Voodoo, he's talked about Clea, both on Twitter, saying that at some point you're going to have to introduce Clea if you're doing Doctor Strange, and that since Voodoo's brother was killed in the first Doctor Strange movie, he implies that he's probably going to show up at some point. So what do you guys think about this? The fact that we are going to be possibly getting Clea and Brother Voodoo along with the return of the Ancient One. There have been tons of rumors surrounding Doctor Strange 2, whether it's going to introduce Nightmare and explore more of the other dimensions in the multiverse, or whether it would be a quasi-Defenders movie introducing Namor the Submariner, who was also teased by Scott Derrickson. There's tons of avenues they could go with this character now that he is the Sorcerer Supreme and that we have seen him in several other MCU appearances that have really developed Strange as a cool character. But like I said, post your thoughts down in the comments below, and for more updates on Doctor Strange 2 and everything Marvel and pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.